Please remain standing and join us in the playing of the national anthem. Please remain standing and join me in reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and please be seated. Good evening. My name is Anthony Evangelista, and I've had the privilege of being the Vice President of the graduating class of 2021. Before I start, I just want to say how grateful I am to be up here with all of you. In a year where a graduation ceremony with full capacity wasn't promised, I'm honored to stand up here tonight looking out on such a large crowd. In September of 2020, my fellow senior class officers and I took a trip to Mount Kisco Diner, where we attempted to lay out our plans for the upcoming senior year. And although the wraps were delicious, we were stuck. It's impossible to plan out a senior year during a global pandemic where times and guidelines are forever changing. I feel like that's been the same narrative for most of the last 14 months of our lives. 70% of our senior year has been spent in a hybrid learning model with limited activities and no real sense of direction. But despite all the hardships, the losses we've all experienced over the past year and a half, and the copious amounts of sleep I made up during my first period AP Gov class, we're all here today. No senior class in Eastchester High School history ever had to go through what we all went through. And if there's one thing that I could take away from you all here today, especially over this past year, it's resilience. Now, there are two definitions for resilience: the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and to spring back into shape. I think the class of 2021 embodies both of those things. Every single one of you has sprung back from the loss of much of our senior year to make it to the point where we are today. You've leaped over every obstacle, overcame every mistake thrown your way, and now you sit here less than an hour away from punching your ticket goodbye. I've seen all of you go through different experiences: failed math tests, missing homeworks, Brian Kimkuchis' lack of sleep. I've seen it all, but we're all past that now. As much as we've had plenty of things stripped away this year, the one thing that can never be taken is the resilience among us all. I've had the pleasure to be part of the Eastchester Schools community since Miss Dragonetti's kindergarten class. I've grown up with every single one of you here tonight, and I've seen so many different stories, journeys, and memories. And as much as it's crazy to say, this is most likely the last time that this group of people will ever be together. I'm insanely excited to see where the people that built the foundation of my life end up going. It's surreal to think that I'm not going to be spending 5 days a week, 6 hours a day with the people I went on routine Geos runs with, Weezer Johnny with, and made my freshman top 10 videos with. It's going to be weird not parking on the street outside the guardrail and not having to worry about Paul reversing his Honda into Frank's car at 10 miles an hour. Again. All 200 plus of you have impacted my life in ways you can't imagine, and I'm so grateful I got to spend the last 13 years of my life as an Eastchester Eagle. If I have to leave you with one piece of advice, it's this: don't let one thing define you. None of you have allowed this past year to define your life's outcomes. People make mistakes. Things happen, and that's okay. Last night, I met with the senior class officers to end off the year the same way it started, out at Mountain Kisco Diner. And it hit me that the last time the four of us were there back in September, we had absolutely no clue what we would be dealing with over the next 9 months. And look at how much things have changed from September to now. Nobody could have guessed this past year, and if that proves anything at all, it's that life is uncertain. You might go into a school in the fall and find out it's not the right fit. You might pick a job and realize it's not the correct career choice, and that's okay. Don't allow one thing to define you, because if there's one thing Eastchester has taught me, it's that there's plenty of different paths that you could take when one thing doesn't go your way. My good friend and class treasurer, Dean Shapizi, once told me that if you accept the things you can't change and control the things you can, life gets a whole lot easier. By keeping control of your lives, staying resilient, and working your hardest, I believe each and every single one of you can be successful in whatever you decide to do. We've all made it this far, to which I say congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. I'd like to thank my family, my teachers, Gryffindor, the Flock, Brothers 2.0, and anyone that has supported me along the way. I cannot wait to see the incredible things that the men and women in this class achieve in their futures. Thank you, Eastchester High School, for the most interesting years of my life. I wish you all the best of luck with your dreams, and for one more time, stay fly, Eagles. It is my pleasure to now recognize the president of the Eastchester High School Student Government, my friend Brian Kimkutsis.
Good evening. Before I begin, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to the EHS administration for ensuring we can come to a safe and well-run school every day. Thank you to the EHS custodial staff for giving us the most beautiful learning environment we could ever ask for. Thank you to the EHS teachers and faculty for encouraging us to learn, even when we're reluctant to, and especially this year for tolerating our occasional naps on Google Meet. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to every parent, guardian, and family of a member of the class of 2021. Your unconditional love and support has been instrumental in our journey to becoming the graduates we are today. Now, to my fellow classmates, we made it. We finally made it. 1,389 days ago, yes, 1,389 days ago, we stepped through the doors of the high school for the first time as tiny freshmen. And today, we graduate as hopefully taller and hopefully smarter people than we were on that very first day. We've surpassed seemingly insurpassable challenges, whether that was having to write all of world history down on a shower curtain just for the college board to ask us to write about the history of a decorated box, shout out to them for always being so kind to us students, or failing our first high school test, which for many of us, including myself, was in geometry class. And of course, the challenge of junior year, all of junior year. Anthony touched on this earlier, and some of my friends know about this, but last year I made a deal with myself that if I stayed up past 2 a.m. doing work, and I deserved to be comfortable the next day, and I would let myself wear pajamas. And I didn't think this would happen very often, but from September to March of last year, I basically only wore pajamas. But we overcame each of these challenges with grace, some of us clearly with better outfits than others, and have now made it to the other side as stronger people than we were before. Now I've been lucky enough to call Eastchester my home for the last 18 years, and never in my life did I think we would graduate with having experienced an international pandemic. But we got through it together. And if the last 13 months have taught me anything, it's the importance of appreciating every moment we have and living our lives to the fullest. It's the importance of appreciating the little joys in life. When you make a great play in front of a large crowd on a field, and when you have a meaningful conversation with your coach of 4 years, when you're singing or dancing your heart out on stage, and when you're joking in between scenes on stage, when you're out late with friends and feel invincible, and those 3 a.m. memorable FaceTime calls, when you see the perfect sunset, or even when a large group of students gets caught at Harbor Island Mamaroneck for seeing the sunrise the day before school starts. Sorry for that, Dr. Capuano. Whether it's one of these things or any other, I implore everyone here to savor each moment, because life gets a little less stressful, a little more beautiful, and a lot more enjoyable when we realize how amazing the things we're doing and the people we're with truly are. Now, it may be hypocritical of me to say this, because now, my sleep schedule for the past 4 years hasn't always reflected this ideal. But don't waste time worrying about the future or regretting the past. Just be present and enjoy every moment while it lasts. This is quite literally the last time we will ever all be in the same space together. When you look around this field, it may very well be the last time you see many of these faces. We've spent the last 12 years together. Every lunch period, assembly, fire drill, lockdown, pep rally, sporting event, and all of our classes. And for some cruel reason, it all has to come to an end today. Think about how distant today seemed on that first day of school. Well, just as fast as today came, tomorrow will pass, and the next stage of our lives will be complete. So I ask each and every one of you to take one last look around. Remember this moment, because these are the people that you'll take with you for the rest of your lives. These are the stories you'll tell when you're old. These are the memories you'll cherish and wish you could relive. And so with that, I say thank you to Eastchester for all of the ups and all of the downs and everything in between. And just remember that this right here, this is home. Because no matter where you go, once an eagle, always an eagle. Thank you.
Oops. It is my pleasure to recognize the Salutatorian of the class of 2021, Kyoko Saito.
Why do we have to go to school? I'm not going to use any of this in real life. I'm sure most of you have said something along these lines at least once in your lives. I know I have. And if there are any adults in the audience who have used the graph of a sine curve or the symbolism of the color red in Jane Eyre, even once after graduation, please feel free to stop me right now. It wasn't until the onset of the pandemic last year that I truly understood the value of everything I've been learning in school. In the midst of all the uncertainty, scientific knowledge about how viruses spread and affect individuals grounded me. I possessed the mathematical tools to interpret graphs of daily cases and deaths and predict what the trend may look like in the upcoming weeks and months. In a world of fake news and social media, my English classes have equipped me with the ability to read critically and determine for myself which articles are biased and which ones are to be trusted. My history and government classes have given me a baseline understanding of the social justice issues discussed and allow me to truly appreciate the historical moment we're currently living through. The past 6 years as a French student have opened my eyes to the cultures and struggles of people all around the world and within our community. And finally, despite the constant stress and anxiety of the past year, I always found moments of peace in my ability to express myself musically. All the then seemingly pointless assignments and lessons had unknowingly made me into a well-informed citizen, able to see the world logically and navigate the obstacles faced in front of me. The education we've received here at Eastchester has transformed all of us from gawky children into compassionate young adults. Our high school diploma has opened the door wide to institutions of higher education and the worlds of business, science, government, and the arts. But most importantly, we all now possess knowledge. Knowledge is power. People say that all the time. And to a certain extent, they are right. Knowledge gives us the ability to survive and thrive in the world, allows us to make decisions based on logical and ethical grounds, and serves as the foundation for all advancements in society. But I recently heard a podcast where the speaker clarified that knowledge is actually potential power. It is merely a tool that, when combined with purpose, hard work, and ambition, become an unstoppable force of change. We've all stockpiled a lot of information and wisdom over the past few years, but it'll not serve us until we give it the power to do so. So today, I implore all of you, what power will you give? Sorry. So today, I implore all of you, what power will you give your knowledge? Albert Einstein once said, "Those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act." As young adults who have the privilege of receiving one of the best public education our country has to offer, we have to begin asking ourselves, what will we do with our education? How can we use what we've been so fortunate to have been given to inspire the people around us and create a more inclusive, loving world for our children? Yeah, making a difference in the world doesn't require some grand gesture, but instead a collection of tiny, daily acts of positivity. Reach out to the people in your life and thank them for all that they've done for you. Listen to others, for listening with a desire to understand is the most underrated yet powerful force of change. Educate yourselves on the issues that exist in our world and never stop learning. Before I end, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who's allowed me to come this far. To all the teachers, administrators, and staff of Eastchester, thank you for all your guidance, love, and wisdom. To my family, thank you for putting up with me for all these years and for being my biggest supporter in everything I've done. And finally, to you, the class of 2021, thank you for being with me through all the struggles, triumph, and laughter. I feel beyond privileged to call such a selfless, intelligent, and passionate group of young leaders my classmates and friends, and I can't wait to see what you'll achieve throughout your lives. Best of luck, everyone, and congratulations.
I'm now proud to introduce the principal of Eastchester High School, Dr. Jeffrey Capuano.
Thanks for the promotion, Anthony. Good evening, class of 2021. This was definitely a year for the record books, and it's one that we never want to repeat, ever. Some of us have lost loved ones this year. Some of us have had family members that were very sick. Some of us have been sick ourselves. Some of us have experienced all three. I think it's safe to say that we're all scrambling away from 2020 and 2021 as fast as we possibly can to get back to what we call normal. But I'd encourage you not to run away from 2020 and 2021 too quickly, because there are some lessons that we learned over the last 15 months that we don't want to forget. I'd encourage you to keep in mind the many things you learned as you soar in a new direction, as these lessons will allow you to spread your wings more powerfully and fly even higher, because through adversity comes strength. Here are 3 quick lessons to remember, and there's a miracle. You've never heard me talk this fast. Just 3 quick lessons. Number 1, we are social beings. We spent 15 months building walls to protect ourselves from COVID. We've been wearing masks, sitting behind computer screens, and have been barriered behind plexiglass. Unfortunately, we've also built barriers between ourselves and others. It's time to break down those walls. Don't isolate yourselves any longer. Remember that we were not made to be alone, and that we were not made to be lone rangers. It's within our DNA to be with and interact with others. So as you take flight toward college and life, break down those barriers and communicate well with others. Put down your phones and computers and text less. Actually have something called conversations. Don't use technology as a barrier between yourselves and others. And on a side note, when you're having those conversations, don't have them the way the adults do that you see on the news today. Speak kindly and listen well to each other, even when you disagree. Whether entering a classroom next year, going for a job interview, or walking down the street, get back in the habit of smiling, making eye contact, and even giving a firm handshake. You will be light years ahead of your contemporaries if you do that. As you start to rebuild relationships with others, surround yourself with people who will make you better. And be that person who supports, upholds, and helps others. Lesson number 2, do your best work when nobody's watching. You've been working more independently with less accountability than any senior class in the history of EHS. Teachers and parents were more at a distance this year, and you had to be more independent in your efforts. The author Alan Armstrong said this, quote, "Champions do not become champions when they win the event, but in the hours, weeks, months, and years they spend preparing for it. The victorious performance itself is merely the demonstration of their championship character," end quote. And most of a champion's training occurs in isolation with nobody around. So as you lift off for college and life, remember to give your best effort when no one is in view. Excellence occurs in the quiet times, not when people are watching. Lesson number 3, never give up hope. There were days, weeks, and months with significant uncertainty. There was much we didn't know. As you look back at this year and look toward your future, remember that as bad as things look, the sun does shine again. The next time you fly into a dark storm, weather it with fortitude and confidence, because you already experienced that significant difficulties can be overcome. As I close, I'd really like to say I'm amazed at what you've accomplished. I'm astounded and thankful for the work of your teachers, and I'm tremendously grateful for the support of your parents. As you leave the nest of EHS, know that you have proved that you are ready for the next step. Fly high and far, Eagles. You're more than ready. On behalf of the faculty and staff, Mr. DeMeo and Dr. Bott, congratulations, class of 2001. We're proud of you. 2021, I'm proud of you.
Please welcome the supervisor for the town of Eastchester, Mr. Anthony Colavita.
Thank you, Anthony. On behalf of the entire town of Eastchester, all 32,000 residents, I want to congratulate the class of 2021. God bless you guys. And how nice is it not to have a mask on right now? You know, 2020, I thought they got stiff, but you guys had a tougher year than they did, no doubt about it. But you know, you got some sports in, you had a great prom, and you're all together today for graduation. And like was said, Anthony alluded to earlier, it's not about getting knocked down, it's about getting back up again. A famous American said that, Vince Lombardi. And your life is going to provide you with a lot of times you're going to get knocked down. But you got to get right back up again. Dust yourself off, retool, rethink, and get right back at it. Show good character always. Help people in need. Be loyal to your friends and your family. Be a leader. Because everything you learned in that building, on this field, on that field, on the track, on the courts, over on the stage, in the rinks, in the pools, has more than prepared you to be a leader. Seize the opportunity when it arises. It is easier than you think. Appreciate what was done to get you here to this moment. Appreciate everyone that got you across the street safely, that made sure you had a clean classroom and a nice cut field and a beautiful gym to work out in. Appreciate your teachers, the Board of Education, Dr. Glass. They had your best interests at heart. Always appreciate their effort. And never, ever, ever forget where you came from. This is a great town. You're going to learn that as soon as you leave it. But be very, very proud of Eastchester, because Eastchester is very proud of you. A little bit on time. I tell my kids the same thing. You know, there are two things in your life that you have a little bit of control over: your time and your health. Regarding your time, now you got all the time in the world, right? It's graduation time, it's summertime, it's party time. But the party's going to end. And when the party's over, life is going to get very hectic. You're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions. So what I urge you to do is every once in a while, just stop and pause and think about, assess who you're giving your precious time to and what you're doing with your time, okay? Don't be the person 70 years from now looks back and says, with regret and disappointment, I never should have spent my time, wasted my time doing this or that, or I never should have spent my time with that person. I should have been with somebody else. Don't be that person. Be the person that looks back 70 years from now and says, you know what? With satisfaction and gratitude that I spent my time with the right people, that I did good things, that I was with people that were good for me. Be that person. It's hard to do, but take the time to do it. It's not easy. Today, you're going to take off in 240 different directions. Before you do that, pull your parents aside. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them they mean the world to you. I think they would appreciate that very much. And I think also they deserve that. So please do that before this day is over. Lastly, the one thing you all share in common today, right at this moment, is that you're never going to be all together again tomorrow. So enjoy yourselves, enjoy your day, for you have earned it. God bless you all. I wish you the very best of luck. And no matter where you go, you let them know the Eagle Nation is in the house. Thank you.
Please welcome the valedictorian for the class of 2021, John Fahey.
"16 months ago, in March 2020, I woke up at 7 a.m. and rolled out of bed to go to school. I went to my locker and chatted with friends in the hallway before first period. During a particularly boring A-push class, I leaned over and tapped a friend's shoulder, looking for some type of entertainment. I went to the library during my free period to hang out with friends and to scarf down my breakfast. All of these interactions seemed so small and inconsequential at the time. But 6 months later, on the first day of school in September, their absence could not feel larger. Instead of talking with friends before first period, I sat crisscrossed on the floor of the gym, trying but failing to replace friendly conversations with whatever I was looking at on my phone. During many classes, I looked over to tap on someone's shoulder, only to find them 6 feet away, or worse, to discover that I sat alone in my room. During free periods, I hurried towards the exit, trying to avoid the makeshift study center set up in the old gym at any cost. Every graduation speech needs a moral, so the moral of this one is to never take anything for granted. Certainly don't take the big things for granted, like a library. And don't take the small things for granted either, like a locker or a brief conversation with a friend. Before you know it, any one of those things could be gone for good. It's better to appreciate these things in the moment, rather than longingly lament their absence once they've gone. We'll never know when the next crisis will hit. For all we know, tomorrow morning we might wake up in a completely changed world. So before that happens, let's take a moment to be grateful for what we have going for us. Let's be grateful that we are clothed, fed, and go to sleep with roofs over our heads. Let's be grateful that we attend a high school where the teachers push us to learn and to be our best each and every day. Let's be grateful for the privilege to attend college, a privilege that is by no means enjoyed by all teenagers in America. On a final note, I stand before you as the valedictorian, but there's so many people out there doing real work that are much more deserving of recognition. There's the custodial staff, who set up the chairs you're sitting on and the stage I'm standing on to make the ceremony physically possible. There are the security guards, who wear a stern expression to keep out any school threats and wield a thermometer to keep out the infected. There are the teachers, who bear the immense responsibility of shaping the minds of our future generations. And there are parents, whose support is integral to each of our journeys. Each and every one of us has different goals and aspirations, but even as we prepare to go off to college and revel in our newfound independence and freedom, I hope that each of us holds dear the memories and friendships from our time at EHS. Thank you, class of 2021.
Dr. Capuano will now recognize the top 10% of the graduating class of 2021.
It's great to be able to recognize the top 10% tonight. I'd ask you to stand as I call your name and stay standing until all have been announced. Tyler Adamson, University of Utah. Rico Ian Banting, New York University. Alexa Contreva, Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Caroline Coughlin, University of Virginia. Caroline Dever, University of Connecticut. Michael Fang, University College of London. John Ferrara, State University of New York at Binghamton. Luke Ferrara, State University of New York at Binghamton. Esther Herr, State University of New York at Binghamton. Clay Hesse, New York University. Emmy Jang, Northeastern University. Brian Kim Koutzis, Cornell University. Eloic Lacombe Ruiz, University of Pennsylvania. Joanna Luminous, Carnegie Mellon. Judith Medioni, Northeastern University. Lauren Mazzella, University of Scranton. Wesley Miller, Case Western Reserve University. Miriam Nefesh, University of Miami. Daniel Orlando, Colgate University. Cindy Papage, Fordham University. Kanta Sakabe, UCLA. Clara Sweeney, Colgate University. Kyoko Sato, Brown University. And John Fahey, Northeastern University. Congratulations, top 10%.
Please welcome the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Robert Glass.
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to just take a moment and thank and recognize our Eastchester Police and EMS for the work that they've done, not only tonight, responding so quickly to this the situation that we had, but this is the way that they respond all the time. We are deeply, deeply grateful for their service. I'd also like to thank our custodial and maintenance staff and other staff members who were there to assist as well. Graduating class of 2021, members of the Board of Education, administration, and faculty, parents, grandparents, family, and community members, it's my honor to welcome all of you today for this wonderful celebration as we honor this incredible senior class who have worked so hard, accomplished so much, and overcome so much as they now embark on a new adventure. Let me begin by thanking everyone who's played a role in supporting our senior class throughout their academic career here in the Eastchester School District. Yes, the success of our graduates is in large part because of their hard work and determination, but of course that's not the entire story. Part of the reason our graduates have been so successful is because you were there to provide just-in-time delivery of whatever they have needed. Whether it was love, support, discipline, or encouragement, you were always there, and that fact must be recognized this evening. To our parents, families, teachers, teaching assistants, support staff, and administrators, thank you for always being there for our esteemed graduates. Their success is also your success. Entering this school year on the heels of last year's fully remote learning, we thought we had a pretty good idea of what to expect. Pretty straightforward, right? Students would choose either a hybrid model or a fully remote model of instruction until this pandemic passed and we could get back to normal, right? Wrong. There was no way to know exactly how things would unfold until we actually lived through all of the twists and turns. You know, you can have a game plan, but until you have to play the game and you have to adapt through all of the unpredictable situations that arise. So this year, in addition to completely modified school models, you dealt with quarantines, changes to quarantine rules, uncertainty about whether certain sports and other activities would run and when, the compression of sports seasons, the changing of mask regulations, plexiglass shields, remember those? They lasted about 3 weeks, right? Surveillance testing, and let's not forget about facing an important personal decision about whether and how you might get the vaccine. And while everyone was working so incredibly hard and doing so well, the vibe in the school was really just not the same. And how could it be? Because we were never able to be all together in one place. But all of that started to change when we returned to more in-person learning on April 12th. Suddenly, there was a spark. You were back in the school together, and suddenly we were on an upward trajectory back to a vibrant campus led by this amazing senior class of 2021. And I have to admit that I'm privileged to be able to daily look out the window of my office, which is right over there, onto this field where we are presently all assembled, and I feel like I've had a front row seat into the daily record of some of the activities that have told the story of how you brought life back to Eastchester High School. Looking out my window, I could see it first begin with practices. Students and coaches enthusiastically on the field together for the first time in a long time, conducting drills, doing conditioning, having fun in ways that they had not been able to before. And then it progressed to games. And then more and more spectators came to watch and cheer, and the weather got nicer, and more people came out. And next came music from our jazz band and our our singers, along with a film festival right over there underneath that scoreboard. And it was an incredible event, complete with an honest-to-goodness, made-for-Hollywood rainbow in the sky that appeared that day. And this week, all week, this field right here has hosted celebration after celebration after celebration of our students and their achievements throughout each day and into each night. And seeing all of this just from my little corner of the world outside my window has inspired me. It has brought me immense joy and hope. Seniors, you've led your classmates through adversity to a rebirth, to a place of joy and celebration. And like an athlete or a musician or an actor who has been forced by necessity to cross-train to learn several positions or several instruments, you have exponentially expanded your versatility. Your experiences this year have made you expert in reading your environment, setting priorities, and using an ever-expanding repertoire of acquired strategies to achieve your goals. When members of the class of 2021 encounter a closed door, there is no group better prepared to find and open an alternative door and to kick it down if necessary. In bringing this to a close, I'd like to share with you an experience I had just a couple weeks ago. I was working in my office late one afternoon when a colleague popped in and said, "Hey, look outside." And at first I didn't know what I was looking at, but then the person said, "Look up on top of that utility pole." It's that utility pole right over there, right by the sign with by the baseball field, right down the third base line. I looked up at the pole with the backdrop of this entire field on which we are now gathered, in a place where I watched this senior class lead our school back to vibrancy day by day, to see a majestic eagle perched on top. It was breathtaking. Much as the rainbow over the field during the jazz movie event had provided an inspiration, the eagle perched above the field was to me a profound symbol at that moment. As always, a symbol of strength and majesty, of course. But at this moment, the eagle was a symbol of release and victory. It was as if that eagle had landed there just to say, "Well done, students. Well done, class of 2021. We're back. Eagle Nation is back." Senior class of 2021, Eagles, thank you for enduring the tough times. Thank you for seeing it through to better times. Thank you for leading us from where we were to where we are today. I can only imagine where you will lead others in the future. You're more than ready to tackle anything life brings your way. We're all very proud of you. Congratulations, and we wish you all the best in your bright future. Thank you.
Please welcome the President of the Eastchester Board of Education, Mr. Robert Summer.
Take these off so I can see. Okay, as Harriet Tubman said, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Nothing could be more true for the class of 2021. Eastchester has given you the foundation to be a respectful, lifelong learner, effective communicator, complex thinker, and problem solver. You have been prepared to succeed in whatever path you choose. Never forget you are an eagle and capable of soaring. You have overcome COVID and the havoc it wreaked on the last year and a half of your high school career. You will always be one of the few classes who graduated during COVID. Do not allow this to define you, though. Let it motivate you. Succeed in spite of or because of your experience with COVID. There will always be events beyond your control that impact your lives. You can make excuses or you can choose to move forward. The choice is yours. Go forward and continue to make us proud. Congratulations to the Eastchester High School senior class of 2021 and your families. Congratulations and go soar. Go Eagles.
It is now time for the members of the class of 2021 to receive our diplomas.
Tyler Adamson. Clementina Amatai. Adelina Amedi. Catherine Albano. Diego Cavalcanti. Vincent Amatucci. Thomas Amaretti. Benjamin Araujo. Christopher Arjun. Audrey Aseru Wiafe. Stefania Asalone. Elena Aurelio. Melanie Avila. Sam Baglio. Rico Ian Banting. Brianna Barbaran Simonides. Joseph Belizzi. Gina Emily Benassi. Alexa Benahan. Amanda Hope Bernardi. Asha Bhatt. Artun Belier. Olivia Bloom. Jack Blute. Leanna Rose Boyano. Robert Bonet. Sydney Elise Boyer. Evan Brainard. Travis Braun. Clodagh Buckley. James Richard Calabro. Joseph Cardilano. Kurisara Chanapai. Logan Chesler. Joseph Chiffone. Joseph Chinquamani. Connor Clancy. Cameron Clark. Jessica Coughlin. Paul Constantino. Shane Corrigan. Caroline Coughlin. Alessandra Greco. Ryan Cullen. Nicholas Cupo. Christian D'Agostino. Cassidy Deanna. Nicole D'Annunzio. Sophia Damasco. Kelly Denai. Laura Mia DeLeon. Alex Del Bracco Jr. We would like to welcome Sergeant Justin Reyes home from a tour in Afghanistan. He flew in this morning to be here for AJ's graduation. Daniela DeLuise. Stephen DeRentis.
Andre DeStefano. Caroline Dever. Kate Diamantidis. Len Diamond. Nicole DeSanto. Valerie Diaz. Viviana Diaz. Kyle Dorio. Nicholas Dragomanov. Holly Elson. Taylor Erdman. Michael Fong. Adriana Faustini. Kara Fendrick. Andrew Ferrara. John Ferrara. Luke Ferrara. David Flannery. Alina Anita Flitzari. Joseph Dominic Salvatore Formasano. Peter Fodiatis. Elizabeth French-Amore. Christopher Galella. Megan Gallagher. Gianni Garcia. Kimberly Garcia Fuentes. Gabriela Gentile. Louis Gentile. Justin Gerber. Brianna Gillen. Sasha Gillen. Dominic Giuliano. Amelia Mar Gregory. Victoria Gruber. Ryan Gurna. Michael Harrigan. Emma Sophia Howard. Alexa Brooke Raddick. Ryan Hunter. Esther Young Seo Her. Anthony Iovino. Matthew Janowitz. Emmy Jong. Rita Colai. Thomas Kane. Emma Keegan. Adni Kelmendi. Michelle Kim. Martin Colai. Nicholas Columbus. Avdi Krosnichi. Natalia Kransoulis. Eloique Lacombe Ruiz. Megan Lom. Stephen Lawler. Sophia Leo. Stefano Leo. Brandon Leone. Andy Lee. Ava Leosados. Ella Loizides.
Sophia Rose Lotto. Joseph Lutzai. Luke Lumage. Joanna Lumanis. Michael Macaluso. Natasha Makarchuk. Joseph Mancuso. Michael Marcasilli. James Massa. Ryan Massa. Judith Mattioni. Lauren Mazzella. Ryan McCluskey. Luke Enda McIntyre. Nicholas McMahon. Victor Daniel Mejia. Emily Mellish. Maria Mackenzie. Wesley Miller. Carson Monsini. Charlotte Month. Emma Machete. Olivia Machete. Julia Moser. Tyler Machilli. Brianna Mullen. Erin Murphy. Kylie Murray. Mia Morell. Kazuha Nakajima. Brandon Narain. Frank Nardi. Miriam Nefesh. Bethany Nerzia. Lauren Nerzia. Pierce O'Connell. William O'Dwyer. Senior Class President Daniel Orlando. Ryan Oso. Ethan Park. Cindy Pepai. Saliha Pepik. Nicholas Pinto. Nicholas Piero. Gianna Prada. Sophia Provenzal. Sebastian Pomillo. Sinead Quinn. Anna Rasiopo. Joseph Racine. John Rita. Marco Renzo.
Yeah, I ain't like 6'2", so.
Thank you. Isabella Rizzo.
I'm supposed to take it.
John Paul Roach. Victoria Rodriguez. Jordan Romano. Juliana Romano. J.P. Rosabella. Daniel Ruiz. Brianna Rulo. Ariana Russo. Ronice Saab. Sophia Sabelja. Kanta Sakabe. Katerine Salinas Jara. Christina Samushia. Kayla Sandolo. DJ Santa Maria. Zachary Santana. Hoshina Sasaki. Ian Schechter. Senior Class Treasurer Dean Shapizi. Thomas Shively. Daniela Schneider. Kieran Schuler. Michaela Scott. Ryan Shedden. Just gotta wait. Arisa Shiraishi. Francesco Skirtai. Jessica May Siciliano. Louis Simmons. Barth Sokali. Griffin Southard. Angelo Sperandio. Isabel Spiropoulos. Olivia Tyler Sprinkle. Stratton Stave. Benjamin David Stricker. Clara Sweeney. Mark Anthony Tamburo. Gina Telesco Fusco. Justin Tillinghast. Stephanie Tiso. Sam Tomasino. Grace Torrey. Aaron Trabacchino. Kyle Sang. Jennifer Suchia. Kanaho Uesada. Adriana Ugaldi. Madison Vatianu. Alexis Valenza. Neil Viswanathan. Ariana Wahab. Olivia West. Brian Wingerton. Elizabeth Wynn. Sakura Yamazaki. Kayla Yankowski. John Yazzo. Danielle Zurillo.
Senior Class Secretary, Frank Capasso. Valedictorian, John Fahey. Salutatorian, Kyoko Saito. EGO Executive President, Brian Kim Koutsis. EGO Executive Vice President, Ava Palladino.
Finally, last but not least, Class Senior Vice President and lifelong friend, Anthony Evangelista.
Will the members of the class of 2021 please stand? As graduates, please switch your tassel to the left side. Congratulations to the members of the class of 2021. And remember, once an eagle, always an eagle.